all the same damn thing. Nation black book, secrets untold. The weight of silence, heavy and cold. Power protects its own dirty crane. Feeding lies while we bleed. They spin their webs, they weave their lies. Behind the curtain, darkness rise. Red or blue, it's all the same. A broken bird playing a rigged game. Epstein shadow hunting the halls, truth buried deep behind the walls. Who pulls the strings, who writes the play? The truth gets lost another day. Finger pointing, flames ignite, divide the people, fuel the fight. But in the end, it's all a con. They're laughing while we're poor. They spin their webs, they weave their lies. Behind the curtain, darkness rise. Red or blue, it's all the same. A broken bird playing a rigged game. They spin their webs, they weave their lies. Behind the curtain, darkness rise. Red or blue, it's all the same. A broken bird playing a rigged game.
What's up, everybody? I hope you're having a good Tuesday. We have too many things, far too many things to talk about, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it. With me today, I am joined, of course, with I have multiple guests today. It's not just me today. Yesterday it was Joey and I. Joey joined late today, but I am joined by, of course, my co-host, my normal co-host, TJ, and Mad Stork. How's it going, guys?
It's going well. Sorry I missed yesterday.
Yeah, you missed some pretty big news yesterday, my guy.
Right, a day to call out of the show. It was probably not the best day to do so, and I apologize for that.
It's understandable. We all need days to hang out with family and stuff like that. You know, it was a holiday weekend, and that's partly why we had so much news over the weekend. It was a holiday, and there was clearly a bunch of stories that were trying to get buried. And everyone has their own theories as to what story is trying to get buried. So,
Yeah.
But how's it going, Stork? How are you doing today?
Well, unlike that bastard, I'm up to date on the news.
Wow.
Oh, there you go. Shots fired! Shots fired!
Yeah, dude.
Oh, damn.
You're becoming my nemesis right now.
Come on, nemesis, right?
Becoming.
Already been?
Bold
Shit, I
of you
didn't
to
know
assume that it hasn't started.
that. Yeah, this was a one-sided fight then. Goddamn.
I know, you weren't even prepared. Maybe that's why you're losing. Anyway, let's see. We have so many stories to get into. But I know Mad Stork himself is very, very passionate about Texas, and he feels as though not enough people are talking about Texas. So we're gonna jump into a story from Texas just for him. You making a face, Mad Stork?
Again, it's not that I spoke with you earlier about this. It's not that I am so wanting Texas to be covered. It's when you have a quarter of the U.S. population in your state, and for some reason no news outlet wants to talk about your state. It's kind of like, why are we talking about Washington again?
No, I did explain terribly. Mad Stork's point earlier was that there's a ton of news that is stemming from Texas, but no one is talking about it or talking about Texas. They all want to focus on the border.
Well, yeah, the only thing that basically gets talked about with Texas is the border.
And the stabbing.
Yeah, and well, what I mean is normally that's the only thing to talk about.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden there's a bunch of there's a ton of news out of Texas in the last couple of weeks. And everybody's just like, Texas again.
Texas be Texasin.
Texas be Texasin. All
I wish we would Texasin. If we were Texasing, these wouldn't be problems.
Texans aren't being Texans, yeah.
Yeah, no, there was actually a guest on Timcast a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, Texas needs to be Texas again. And I was like, that's kind of an interesting statement. Continue.
Right.
He's like, if we started being Texas again, we wouldn't have these problems. And I was just like, continue.
Dude, the amount of times we have said the word Texas in the first 5 minutes of this show is mildly disgusting.
And this is kind of my point. Like, that right there. That right there is my point of what it was I was saying earlier, Tyler. For whatever reason, some people get really upset about the conversation, and I do not can understand why.
I don't know. I mean, like you were saying, there are a lot of stories that stem from Texas. A lot of the Supreme Court rulings recently stemmed from lawsuits in Texas. It is interesting. I mean, I have this story pulled up that you sent me. A Honduran family freed from detention after lawsuit against ICE courthouse arrest. You were telling me that this family was actually from California and was taken to Texas to be charged?
Yeah, it's a Honduran family. Miss Z and her 6-year-old son. It's right there. Were arrested in Los Angeles. And essentially they were then sent to Texas for their deportation hearings and everything else. And this, I've had this conversation with a lot of people in a lot of different spaces, and these people, for whatever reason, don't want to talk about Texas. And when you start saying, hey, the people being deported from Texas or in Texas, the people being deported in Texas aren't from Texas, all of a sudden they get really butthurt that you mention stuff like that. For some reason,
Mad Stork's just got you. I feel like you got your tinfoil hat on pretty tight. Like, do you think that there's something shady going on with them not wanting to, cover Texas in the news, or do you think that it's just their focus? That coincidentally their focus just isn't there. Like, are they doing it maliciously?
I told Tyler a story earlier. Back from the BLM protest back in 2018, there were a bunch of organized student walkouts. Okay. And there's one particular school in Texas where there were 5 white kids in the whole school, and they decided to participate in the BLM protest, okay? This is 2018. This isn't the Summer of Love riots. This is 2018. And they walked out with the rest of the students, and they got beat unconscious.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
There's not a single story about this in the local or national news.
Yeah, how recent was this?
It was in 2018. It was in the Irving School District. I could probably text my source on that and tell you which school it was. I mean, this is a real story. It really happened. And the simple truth of it is, TJ, they don't want to report on shit in Texas.
Who is
and they haven't for a while.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why that is.
That's a really good question. I can tell you when it comes to things like immigration, for example, the reason they haven't wanted to talk about it is because Texas is the primary crossing point for most illegal immigrants. Which, getting back to this story, this Honduran mother, is as soon as I linked Tyler to it and whatnot, he was like, why did they get sent back to Texas? Well, they probably crossed in Texas. They were probably initially processed in Texas.
Right.
But Texas didn't send people to California. So the only reason that they went to California would have been if Biden sent them, or they disappeared, skipped the court date, and reappeared in California.
Right. Somewhere where they thought they'd be safer.
Somewhere they thought they would be safer and not get deported. And now they're being sent back to Texas. Now, whether or not they originated in Texas, where all that is, I could probably find that in the Freedom of Information thing. Because that's the other thing. What Tim had pulled up for the amount of illegal immigrants in every state and everything, that's the low end estimate. That's the lightest low end estimate. And the deportation through Freedom of Information request has actually been compiled for which state is arresting who and where are they getting deported from. Because where you're getting arrested at is not where you're being deported from. Those are two different things.
So the
Actually, there's three things. There's where you're being arraigned at, where you're being arrested at, where you're being arraigned at, and where you're being deported from. Detained.
Wait. So here, I want to read the article. So it says the lawsuit filed on behalf of the mother, identified as Miss Z, her 6-year-old son, and her 9-year-old daughter, said they were arrested outside the courtroom after an immigration court hearing in Los Angeles. They had been held for weeks in the Dealey Immigration Processing Center in Texas. Their identities have not been released because of concerns for their safety. So it doesn't say, but it does go on to say the lawsuit said that the family entered the U.S. legally using a Biden-era appointment app. That their arrest violated their Fourth Amendment right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures, and their Fifth Amendment right to due process.
There is a good chance, them being a Honduran family, they crossed a port of entry. So they're a Honduran family. They crossed a port of entry. They crossed during the Biden era, and they did it the legal way. There's a good chance that they have a legitimate case for a deportation hearing. They will probably be denied their asylum claim, but given that it's Honduras and given that they did everything legally, they do deserve a little bit more due process.
So you're saying they use the app to like come in, they use the app and they applied for asylum?
Yeah, they did everything the right way, so they should be treated in the best ways for an asylum claim.
That's fair.
Yeah, I agree that following that process is different than, just trying to sneak through and maybe claiming asylum if you get caught,
All that being said, it does look like they went to do that right there. It says the family was released late Wednesday. Go back. Don't scroll down. Late Wednesday, while their lawsuit was still pending, and they went to a shelter in South Texas before they planned to return to their lives in the Los Angeles area. But it doesn't say, I don't see anywhere, I didn't see in that thing. I went over it very quickly. I didn't see anything about whether or not they were supposed to stay in Texas for their hearing and they ran away to Los Angeles or not.
So it seems to me like the left is freaking out because they're saying that, we're going to be rounding up like legal immigrants and things like that. And it seems like this case or whatever is a prime example that we do have certain provisions in place to protect people from any, unwarranted like roundups or deportation efforts.
Correct.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, this is a case for a legitimate claim of asylum. I don't think they should be granted asylum necessarily.
So when they stepped out of the courtroom in LA, they found men in civilian clothing believed to be ICE agents who arrested the family. This is according to their lawyer. They spent about 11 hours in an immigrant processing center in Los Angeles where each were only given an apple, a small packet of cookies, a juice box, and water. At one point, allegedly, an officer near the boy lifted his shirt, revealing the gun, and the boy urinated on himself and was left in the clothing until morning.
That's a little fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 6-year-old kid. I mean, if that's true, why the fuck are you doing that to a kid?
I mean,
well, why are you revealing
a
gun near a kid? Like, if that sounds intentional, the way that they're describing it, maybe it wasn't intentional. I don't know.
Yeah, what if he just like stretched, lift his arms up or whatever, and the shirt rode up and it showed the gun? What if the kid pissing his pants had nothing to do with seeing the gun, and they're just framing it in a certain way to make him look?
Definitely, I'm just saying, a possibility because the lawyer is there to make the family look like they're victims, right?
Right, and that's not to say that the lawyer,
Yeah, I'm not saying he's lying or anything. He's just giving the family's perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Careful.
Now, interestingly, Mukherjee, which is the name of the lawyer, is likely a Laura Mukherjee. And the reason that I'm looking that up is because it's kind of an interesting name. She is likely Bengali Indian, which is an interesting thing because that particular region of India is also interesting for having a lot of communists. So we have imported this communist lawyer who is now representing this family.
Melted in the chat says that when Mad Stork talks, all I hear is the teacher from Charlie Brown.
No, seriously, we have imported this lawyer.
From where?
From Bengali, India.
Wow.
So this communist lawyer who is now representing this family, to be clear, is an imported immigration attorney. And I'm not saying that, you know, they don't deserve representation. I'm not saying any of that. But what I'm saying is literally every single bit about this case that we are currently discussing from the other side is bullshit.
I just want to know why they were taken to Texas.
Again, because they likely crossed, and I gave you several reasons.
I know.
That would make sense.
I want their reason though.
I wish they would give us a reason, but they're not giving people reasons for stuff like that. And one of the reasons I think that they are not giving people reasons for shit like that is because they want to bump up the numbers for the deportations from Texas, because they are not arresting people in Texas for deportations.
I think this administration's just not being open and honest about a lot of things.
I think this is probably the least transparent administration we've had in a while.
Because, like, you can't even say that Biden's administration was less transparent. They just didn't do anything. It was different.
Yeah. You could kind of make a case that they, you know, were not being as...
They were just being ineffective and not doing anything. It was different. That was the complaint, was when they did do something, it didn't work, or they just weren't doing anything at all.
What did you do on Friday? Nothing.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yes, I'm quite sure we did nothing.
But then we have Trump, and it's like, what'd you do on Friday? And we can list like 30 things, but we can't elaborate on any of them.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, what did you do on Thursday? Well,
I've got a list for you. I just can't tell you how I did them.
Yeah.
When you say that it's the least transparent administration, I feel like your gripe is almost with the media and not necessarily with the administration. Like,
TJ, I'm gonna show you a clip of Trump here in a minute. You're gonna you're gonna be pissed.
It's a separate issue. Like, it seems like, you know, you are finding these stories, which is how you know that it's not, you know, going viral in the media, which means that the information is being released, and so the lack of reporting is not on the administration itself.
I'm not going to get into the story too much because we're not covering it today, but there is a 48-year-old story of $1 billion being embezzled in Houston, Texas over 48 years. That's an average of $5 million per year. At 48 years, that means that literally the people who are embezzling this could not have been only employed, like, it couldn't have been one person. It had to have been like multiple people. But
there's just the fall guys. They're the ones taking the fall.
It's just the guys who finally got caught, essentially, who are going to prison about this, okay? Okay, but, like, this should be, like, huge national news, right? It's $1 billion.
And is the Trump administration burying the story?
Yes.
Oh, no, because it's a state issue. It's not the federal government going after this. It's a state issue. So but nobody's covering it.
Yeah, no one's covering stories like that, and it's not that the Trump administration's burying it. It's that they're not doing what they said that they'd be doing. I mean, Matt Stork brought up an excellent point, because I've been saying that the Epstein stuff got released because we have just a flooding of news, and I don't mean to say that because of the Texas story. Chris already made that pun, but it is true. There is an immense amount of news stories to cover right now, and Mad Stork's talking about how it's interesting how we just have this crazy amount of news stories. Epstein gets dropped and all this other stuff. No one's talking about the big beautiful bill anymore.
That's actually my.
Sorry, just real quick, but like for the past 2-3 months, it's been every single day is another major story that buries the previous day's news. Like if I'm trying to find some YouTube videos to watch the happening of the day, Like if I see a video that's being, it's part of my algorithm and it says 2 days old, I don't even click it because that's already old news and it's out of the news cycle and it doesn't even matter anymore. And so it's not like just because the big beautiful bill passed that they're now throwing all of these news stories. Like,
No, I think that's actually it, TJ. I think they don't want to talk about the big beautiful bill because the one thing that's not in the news cycle right now is the big beautiful bill.
And it got passed, and it has a lot of different implications. Should we move to this clip you wanted me to react to?
Yeah. Well, I didn't want you to necessarily do it, but I mean, we kind of ended up
I wanted
deciding
to
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and go over it.
We'll
and people,
move over
I'm
to
sorry if you're bored about this, but TJ, I'd love to see your reaction.
yeah. What's
So
up?
just there's a lot of things in the big beautiful bill. Literally, the only thing that I could compliment the bill on is the immigration funding. But it seems like every day I'm shown more and more bullshit that came from this bill. So I don't know. But this is a clip that Mad Stork sent me. So this is supposed to be 4 corporate handouts in the big beautiful bill. So let's see this clip.
Let's talk about the weird and evil stuff in the big beautiful bill that's
I
not
don't
getting
have
enough
audio.
coverage. I hope
You don't have audio?
Nope.
You hear it,
I
Stork?
didn't have audio earlier for your thing. Just restart it.
I think I know it. Wait, here, let me see. I probably forgot to click a button. Okay.
this one, Billionaires
You hear
in
it?
Space.
It's a provision that allows for
Is it good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
public funds to fund private space projects like Elon Musk's SpaceX or Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. Municipal bonds are typically used to fund infrastructure projects like airports. Now, spaceports are eligible for tax-exempt facility bonds. In other words, tax-free investment in their companies.
But what is a spaceport? It's defined as facilities close to a launch site that are used to manufacture, assemble, or repair spacecraft or used for flight control operations. Sound
And you can
familiar? I
pause
call
it
this
there.
next.
What's
Um,
bad about that?
Well, so my
That's- That's literally all of SpaceX and Blue Origin.
Hmm.
That's the Elon Musk, and I've talked about this 3 times now, and I should have looked it up by now. But Elon Musk has a vertical integration policy, essentially of reducing the outsourcing need to produce a product by getting it from base material to endpoint. It's like a big thing he's known for in business, and literally every step of building these rockets happens at the SpaceX facility.
Yeah, I heard that, and I think that's first off, like taking out the issues going on with the bill or whatever. I think that's a brilliant way to manufacture rockets. Like that is like
Oh yeah,
good business, respect to following that process.
yeah.
Then when it comes to now all of those operations are tax exempt, which I could see it as shady. The one concept that I can try and steelman for the bill, I guess, is don't sorry, I got a little echo. It's hard to speak when I hear myself speaking. I think I'm good though. The one way that I would try and steelman it is, doesn't the US use SpaceX for like making certain launches and launching satellites and all of that kind of stuff? So like if we're going to be going to them to use their facilities and whatnot, then should they not have some sort of
Sure.
tax exemption or something?
Sure. Also, that was in the news last week was how Starlink was used. Give me 1 second to mute my phone. Starlink was used for the first time by a drug smuggling corporation, or not corporation, sorry, drug smuggling. What's the term? Starts with a C.
Cartel?
Anyhow, cartel. Thank you. Drug smuggling cartel to get drugs into the United States, and it was a Starlink satellite on a sub. So something that we need to acknowledge is that Starlink is being launched by SpaceX.
I mean,
That's a private company.
right. I don't know. I feel like how do I word this?
I'm
Like,
perfectly
you don't-
fine with incentivizing spacecraft manufacturing in the country, though.
I'm fine.
You
I'm
don't
fine
blame
with
the gun.
incentivizing it.
You don't blame the
100%
gun for
tax
the
exempt though. That's it's a little much.
like so I don't know, the cartel used space or used Starlink. Like it's okay. So someone used the internet. Like if they weren't doing that, then they might have been using AT&T.
What I'm trying to
it's not
say
the
here,
same.
TJ, what I'm trying to say here, TJ, is that we are now tax exempting the corporation that is providing the internet. And I don't mean a little bit tax exempt. I mean 100% facilities, manufacturing, and distribution of the internet that was just used for geosat location and communication for smuggling drugs into the United States.
Yeah,
That is now.
It's not the same as AT&T or Verizon, TJ. AT&T and Verizon don't have the capabilities to get signal out to the middle of the ocean.
I mean,
They don't. When I go deep sea fishing later this month, I'm not going to have cell phone service.
I don't know. To me, the concept is the same. It's people misusing the technology, not the fact that the technology exists. It's like blaming the gun for a shooting.
No, I'm just pointing out that this is specific to Starlink, and not there's no other company that can do things like this. China's working on something like Starlink, but they don't have it yet.
Yeah. Focus on the tax exempt. We're not getting off on the illegality. What I'm trying to say is the company that's responsible for that or involved in that is now tax exempt. That's the point. That last part is the important part.
Or you could say that the company that is providing, free internet to doctors in the middle of, the Amazon to provide life-saving treatment is now tax exempt.
Yeah, to play devil's advocate, I would say that the reason that this is good is because space exploration is definitely an incentive that we should have as a nation.
I agree.
It's also very important for the military implications for this. I mean, look at how Starlink's being used in Ukraine. So I understand you're upset about the tax exemption, but I hate taxes in general. So I'm not exactly upset that a private company is no longer getting taxed.
It's fine if everyone was not getting taxed, but that's not what is happening here. It's the company is not getting taxed.
Yeah, but you said it's what's the other company? You said Blue
Origin. That's
Blue Origin.
Jeff Bezos.
So now Katy Perry can go to space again for free.
Well, okay. Let me. We'll get to something in a second where it's very clearly this is a corporation only thing.
This is like just a friend handout thing, like
this is a friend handout. We will get there.
Well, because Bezos is kind of his friend again too, so I guess that makes sense. All right, let's see.
Well, he needs a new space billionaire because they're having a rocky relationship. Okay?
Yeah,
you gotta have a new rocket, man.
Can't have all your eggs in one basket if you want to get to Mars. Anyway,
it's true,
Next one. Please give money for prison. Private prison contractors will get a $45 billion funding boost for ICE detention centers over the next 4 years. Prison contractors like Geo Group and CoreCivic were both major donors to Trump's inauguration and the GOP. Pam Bondi, Trump's attorney general, used to lobby for Geo Group. Wayne Calabresi, the Geo Group president, said, "We assured ICE of our capability to rapidly scale up our capabilities to monitor and oversee several hundreds of thousands or even several millions of individuals in order to achieve the federal government's immigration law compliance objectives." On a call, GEO's executive chairman said, "This is an unprecedented opportunity." I call this next one.
Pause it. You can pause.
Yeah, that's absolutely disgusting. Why are we giving incentives to private prisons for immigration?
Like that's part of the ICE budget that everyone's been so happy about. Like,
is that that's not a part of the ICE budget?
It
is because it's detention facilities under ICE. And so, my response to that, TJ, is why are we giving the Democrats a rallying cry to beat us with in the midterms?
Yeah, I don't want prisons holding people. I want people deported.
Before we talk about the left's reaction, well, yeah, you have to go get them, bring them into a detention center, process them, and then deport them. That's why Alligator Alcatraz has a runway right next to it, so that they can come in there, get processed, go on the plane, and go home.
The deportation numbers that they're putting out there, it's not exactly like they're being overwhelmed.
Well, like with this increased funding, they soon might be. Like that's like if we don't have the infrastructure to handle the deportations in a humane and organized way, like you have to put forward funding for that, and part of that funding requires the creation of detention centers. Like just because like Trump knows the guy who's going to be creating the detention centers, I don't necessarily think that that is a handout to the buddies. I think that is, you know,
TJ,
yeah.
let's be honest. We didn't get a bid for this.
What do you mean?
This wasn't something that a bunch of corporations bid for.
I mean, that's
and
a
then
fair
we
point.
selected one.
But if you know a guy who's going to do it right, like okay, maybe the legal process.
TJ, but
should be a bid.
TJ, you're neglecting to mention that the group that's getting this funding is the same group that contributed to his campaign.
And that Pam Bondi used to campaign or lobby for.
It's a conflict of interest.
Okay, so let's real quick separate the issues real quick. There's the issue. I would argue that we need these facilities to increase the deportation efforts.
No, I fully see that point. But
we need. Well, hold on, Tyler.
No, I see. No, hang on. I don't want to go off on that point.
No, I'm not going off on that.
I know. Hang on. Pause. I know what you're saying. What we're telling you is that it's a very specific group that got this funding when there's so many private prisons. Yes, we need the space. We need the private prisons. The point being is it's one specific one that contributed to his campaign and people in his administration worked for. It should have been a bid. It should have been other people. It shouldn't have been one group that contributed to his campaign. That's the point. I understand what you're saying. Yes, we need the space. We need more places. That's why Alligator Alcatraz is a thing.
The truth is I agree with TJ that if you're going to get it done, you might as well go with somebody you like and you can trust. I'm actually all in favor of what it is TJ is trying to say there. But there are two other problems with that. One, the fact that you have the conflict of interest. And two, you are, again, giving Democrats the hammer at which they can beat you over the head for the midterms.
And is the conflict of interest the hammer?
The conflict of interest is the hammer. The private prison system is the hammer.
So if it's not the private sector that's going to be creating the detention centers for us, should it have been FEMA? Should that money have just been allocated to FEMA?
Not FEMA. It should have been sent to the Federal Department of Corrections, and they should have built the facilities. Should have been a literal thing that the government built, not or
have you ever
a
been to the
contractors
DMV?
you have built.
I don't know if I trust the federal government to build anything.
You're not wrong.
I get
what
you're
I'm
saying.
telling you is you are handing them the hammer to beat you over the head with.
And the
That's
federal
not
government's
smart.
responsible for deportations and illegal immigration. They shouldn't be outsourcing it to private companies. If we need the infrastructure, then yeah, build the infrastructure, have the federal government do it.
Don't give your enemy the sword at which they will slay you with. Simple as that. It's not complicated. We literally just bombed a country so that they wouldn't give a nuke, and yet we are handing Democrats the tools they need to beat us in the midterms.
Yeah, I see
would
your
you do
argument.
that?
I don't at this time think that this particular section of the video is that's not the biggest concern in my eyes. Like
That's fine.
To me personally, that's sort of a nothing burger. That's anti-immigration stuff, or that's deportation stuff. So,
Fine.
What I'm seeing from the video is
more
a
things.
pattern so far. We'll see with this next two. We'll see if the pattern plays out.
Yep.
Buying stuff for corporations. This provision allows companies to fully write off the cost of investments like machinery, vehicles, and other equipment. The technical term is 100% bonus appreciation. Small businesses don't have endless profits and high tax bills, so they can't buy major machines with cash on hand and then write it off. So who does benefit? Big companies like Facebook, Verizon, and Edison International. This provision was in the 2017 tax plan under Donald Trump's administration. It was supposed to be temporary, but they're trying to bring it back. The 25 corporations that benefited the most got $67 billion as a result. That's an average of over $2.6 billion per corporation. I bought a car one time too, but I don't get to write it off my taxes. Using machines and vehicles are kind of the cost of doing business. America shouldn't take on more debt to pay for Facebook's stuff. I call this next one Jim.
Okay, pause.
Okay, that's absolutely ridiculous. And small businesses don't have access to that. Well,
To
they
be
do,
clear,
but not to the same degree.
this of the things she talks about, this is probably going to be one of the things that you guys are most upset about. But this is actually the least upset I am about all the things in this video, and the reason for it is it's impossible to make stuff in America.
Okay, go on.
I've told this story twice before. I'll tell it again. There's a
Spatula,
YouTube channel. There's a YouTube channel called Smarter Every Day. It features a guy named Destin. He spent 4 years trying to get a product made in the United States, a 100% made in the United States product. And after 4 years of doing it, he still couldn't do it. One of the biggest hurdles for him is something called the tooling and die or stamping process for it. And that's where you stamp the sheet metal into the product you're trying to make. And he could not get that in the United States for several years. There were several companies that said that it was made in the United States, but then they turned around and contracted people in China or Italy to make the stamps. They do not machine stamps in the United States very commonly or often, and this is a major problem in the United States. So the only way to onshore, that's the opposite of offshore, is to onshore. The only way they can onshore all of this business is for these companies to get machines in the United States.
So
Small companies would be better for this, and this does not help small companies infinitely. But when you consider companies like SpaceX, now not only are they 100% tax exempt from their facilities and other things, they are now exempt from any of the machining that they purchase for the company as well. That was the second half of what it was that I was talking about earlier. 100% of their business is now tax exempt, except for payroll. Payroll is the only part of their company that is not tax exempt.
Abolish the income tax then. Let's just make it all. Let's just finalize it all.
Yeah,
I appreciate the humor of that, and I'm not going to deny it. But what I am trying to say is at this point, that company doesn't really pay taxes.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, my issue with that, like, and I totally understand what you guys are saying with we're not able to get things in the country, like made here, but I don't think we should have 100% tax write-off. That's ridiculous. I shouldn't be able to, drop $30,000 on a bunch of different machinery and then just write it off on my taxes.
Well, so the gal in the video said that this was a concept that was part of the 2017 tax bill, and they're bringing it back.
Yes.
Are they bringing it back permanently, or is this going to be a temporary tax exemption to boost to kickstart this manufacturing boom that we're hoping to see in the U.S.?
TJ, that's a very good question. I believe some reporters are working on that story. It's not like they're distracted from the story in any way that keeps them from covering important information like you're bringing up right now, TJ.
What?
There's nothing else important going on right now, TJ. And it's not like Trump would be sitting in a press conference asking, why are you still talking about a different story, but something like that in the middle of a press conference.
We don't need to transition to the Trump talking about the Epstein stuff.
What I'm trying to tell you is,
answer my question. Is it something that is temporary, and is the intention?
I don't know. I'd have to read all through the bill, and nobody's reading through all the bill because there's other stories to cover right now, TJ.
What is your initial thought?
It probably is temporary. I hope to God it's temporary.
There's a lot of tax relief stuff that's temporary in it.
And so, do we...
If it is temporary, I mean, I would be a lot more inclined to be okay with it, because then it would, like Trump saying, he's trying to get a jump start on bringing manufacturing back. That would help with a jump start. It's just that I don't like the sound of it, because a lot of companies could take advantage of it, like what Mad Stork's pointing out with the spacecraft or the spacecraft construction tax relief, the tax exemptions that they have. That coupled with this. Elon's gonna be saving a lot of money on his taxes next year. Let's just say that.
It's just broken. It's a broken. it's a broken tax system that is now broken further for rich people.
And now I don't understand why. Is this why Elon's throwing a big fit over the bill? Because he wants it to look like he's throwing a fit and he's not getting anything from it, even though he absolutely is?
That's a very good question, Tyler. That is probably something that should be covered by a reporter if there was nothing else to cover.
Shall we continue?
Sure.
Yes.
Injustice. There are some good rocks out there
Jim
that
Injustice?
help us develop clean energy, like lithium, cobalt, and rare earth elements that are used for solar panels and batteries. There are clean energy tax credits for projects involving critical materials, but this bill adds a new one. It's called metallurgical coal. It's used in steel making and will benefit met coal producers. Bluestone Resources, a major met coal producer, is controlled by the family of West Virginia Republican Senator Jim Justice. Oh, and he personally has a stake in the company worth more than $50 million, according to his financial disclosures. He voted in favor of the bill. The bill gives a lot of handouts to people who have so much money that they never have to do their own laundry, clean their own dishes, make their own food. So I guess that opens up a lot of free time for lobbying the government. Let's talk about the weird and
I didn't quite understand that last one.
So it sounds like there's a provision to increase the gathering of rare earth minerals and other sort of resources. It also includes this one specific resource that she's referencing, that the
Metallurgic coal, which is used in the production of steel, because steel is a combination
And we're joined by
of
Joey.
a carbon and iron, essentially. So you're producing steel. That's how you get steel.
Okay, so let's again separate the two kind of concepts. We see the corruption argument that she's making or whatever, but is this something that we need? Do we need this resource to produce steel within our country? Because didn't U.S. steel get sold to Japan? So
Yeah.
is
U.S.
this,
Steel just got sold. So literally the largest steel manufacturer in the country that would benefit from something like this is now Japanese.
until we have this other company that's making steel and is America based, and we can prioritize.
There is no other company, man.
Well, then who's the Jim Justice? What does his company do?
They literally do mineral extraction
Okay.
from West Virginia.
And so they're going to do that and then give it to this Japanese company to make steel in the U.S. for
That's a
Japanese
very
profit.
good question, TJ.
It would be
I
great
wish
if it
some
wasn't something
reporters-
else to report on. Come on, dude.
I'm not joking with you, TJ. This like literally one of the things that you guys are going to be talking about after I'm gone is this story a distraction from something else? And yeah, it probably fucking is.
When we're sitting here trying to discuss the merits of an actual circumstance, and your response to everything is, "I wish the media were to report on it." It's, I don't know. It almost detracts from trying to.
Okay.
Have a conversation
Let's have a serious discussion about that. Okay, let's actually get into it. Should they be fucking covering this? Yes. Are they going to? No. Is it something that has already moved on with the news cycle so that it's not something that's ever going to be brought up again? Yes.
I'm happy about it too. What perfect timing. Yeah.
What do you want me to tell you? They literally are not going to talk about this shit, and it's not going to be brought up again until some Democrat brings it up in the midterms once they've gone through the entire bill. Why are we handing them the hammer to beat us over the head with?
Because we're masochists.
Yeah, we're Republicans are masochists. They love to get beaten over the head, and they love to have issues to complain about to campaign on. That's what I'm learning.
Like, I do not get it. Anyhow, next story, the great this. We spent time on it. I didn't really want to go over the video again, but please, dear God, let's cover something.
Let's jump into something light. You guys want to see the clips I have of Donald Trump talking about Epstein?
Sure.
Something light. So let's see. Hello to Joey, by the way, even though he stepped away for a moment.
Because he's already seen the video. We went over it last night. Shit.
What video?
The one we just watched, the clip. Anyhow.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. But I want to talk about this video. This video is far more important. Says, are you still talking about Epstein when this tragedy is unfolding in Texas? So this is the new talking point from the Trump loyalist. Why are we still talking about Epstein when there's this tragedy unfolding in Texas? Donald Trump says it himself. Joey, motherfucking Joey, whatever. It's fine. We're going without him.
Fuck, we're doing it live.
Doing it live. Whatever, Joey. I can't hear it.
Some lingering mysteries of
Okay, hang on. Restart.
Sure. Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of stuff?
Yeah, sure. If I could I just interrupt for 1 second?
Let me just interrupt her for 1 second. I really got to answer this question, guys. I really got to step in.
I'm going to let you finish, but...
Yeah, I'm going to let you finish, but hang on. Let me step in for a second. So, Joey, since you're just coming back, can you hear us? He can't hear us. He doesn't have his headphones on. Look at this bastard. Look at this. Look, put your headphones on. Sir?
Come on.
Oh, almost there. He's almost there. Wait. There he is. Hello.
Look at you. You ain't a good boy. You put your headphones on. Good
Joey, you came back just in time. You're about to hear Donald Trump respond to a question asked by a reporter at this cabinet meeting. He was asking specifically about the Epstein case. So here's Trump's response.
Sure. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Here's what I honestly wish somebody would follow up with, just right there. As soon as he's done, you'd be like, sir, that's actually a really good point. Could you please explain why the deportations from Texas basically amount for half of the arrest and deportations that we're seeing in California, despite parity in the number of illegal immigrants? I wish somebody would ask him that shit. But they won't, because they don't know that, because they're not looking into it.
It's just amazing that he would say this a day after they shut the book on this fucking case. He knows everyone wanted his administration to release this shit. He knows that this is going to be a massive story and there's going to be a ton of questions. There was no press conference. There was no meeting or anything when this got the book closed on it. Usually when there's a massive case like this that just gets the book shut on it, you get to ask some questions about it publicly. No, not this time. You don't get to ask anything. You ask the president a question about it, he will insult you for even asking about it a day after.
It seems like he is extremely out of touch if he doesn't realize how important accountability for the Epstein thing is for the American people. You know what I mean? If like, I understand his argument that like there's a lot of shit going on and his plate is pretty damn full. But at the same time, like, you can't minimalize what this actually is, especially when like full disclosure of everything was, you know, part of the selling point for him. You know, TJ, if I wasn't trying to push this under the rug, if I was in Donald Trump's position, you know what I would have said with everything going on? I would have said, look, this is a cabinet meeting. We're having a lot of natural disasters and issues that we need to get relief to right now. I understand that that's a big issue for you guys. We will address that later this week. Sure.
Like,
that would have
been way better. But instead, he's like, "What? We're still talking about this?" A day after they shut the book.
We're still talking about this?
Yeah, because
we weren't campaigning on exposing this and then taking down the web of corruption, bro. This is just total bullshit. This is exactly what the establishment would have done if it was any other president. And for some reason, because it's Donald Trump, a lot of people are just gonna let it go. They're just gonna fucking let it go.
I don't know. I don't agree. I don't think they will, Joey. I think that like you see even a lot of the diehards are like pretty pissed off at this, and so I think they either need to. They're going to either have to do some extreme form of damage control, or they're going to have to go back and actually like start releasing some things to smooth things over.
That's not what's going to happen, TJ.
They're going to ignore it and move on.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that if they wanted to keep the base together, then
why does Donald Trump care about keeping the base together? He doesn't. He's not running again. If you haven't noticed by now, Donald Trump's greatest strength and his greatest weakness is his ego. He does not care what happens after he's gone. Clearly, based off what he's currently doing, he does not care about what happens after he's gone.
The party is fracturing and splintering. We were a coalition. We were the Big Tent party, and that Big Tent is showing that we have factions.
Correct.
I mean, I responded to that because this person, where I found the video, she said, "Are you still talking about Epstein when this tragedy is unfolding in Texas?" I responded, I said, "Fuck you and fuck Trump. He knows what he was voted in to do. Epstein died in his first administration, and now the case against Epstein and his clients have died in his second term."
Correct.
Valid. I almost for the original poster, it almost seems like she might
be being sarcastic
or quoting or just like quoting. You know what I mean? Like that should have almost had quotation marks around it. You know
can I throw in something?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm about to have to go. So my question is, or my point is the thing where you guys are going to get to is are they trying to cover something up or whatever? And I've thought about this for a while, and my answer is I think they buried the story with the big beautiful bill so hard with everything else that happened to happen that just coincidentally happened, such as the flooding and the shootings and other things. I think they thought that the big beautiful bill had been buried so hard that they might as well try to get another one in there. And so they did the Epstein story on a Sunday because they knew on Monday everybody was going to be talking about things like the flooding.
Yep.
So my argument against them like trying to bury the big beautiful bill.
Stork, you got to go, right?
I do pretty quick. 5 minutes.
So my argument against them trying to bury it is that like they propped it up, and Trump has mentioned it in almost every speech or whatever leading into it. And so what is that? No,
just 30 seconds. I'll be gone in 30 seconds.
All I need is 30 seconds. But what do you think? Like, wouldn't they not have been talking about it so heavily if they were trying to bury it?
When did they talk about it?
Like, I mean, he's been campaigning for it, and this big beautiful bill. It's gonna do so many great things. Like he's been selling it so heavily, and now that he signed it, now it's like, okay, we got all the support we needed, we signed it, let's bury it. Is that doesn't make sense to me?
What's called?
I don't even think the left is talking about the big beautiful bill anymore. Like if you go through like leftists, like I will pull up the Young Turks right now. I don't think the Young Turks are talking about.
The Young Turks are also in the middle of fucking grifting towards the middle, so.
Yeah, they are. But I mean, I don't think they're covering this shit. Name somebody you think would cover the big beautiful bill right now.
If I can go based off of what Wolf Blossom Farms has said in your chat, Tyler, Today News, to expand on that theory is you get a crusader who is going to fight for the people, and he's what better way to convince people to go along with deep state ploys than their hero and their crusader telling them that don't worry, it's okay.
They have one big beautiful bill video out. It's from a clip from their July 7th. No, possibly as late as their video last Thursday, and that's it. That's the only thing covering it.
So what would be the purpose in covering it in greater detail right now?
Literally nothing. That's why I said earlier they're going to wait till the midterms and then beat Republicans over the head with it.
Gotcha. So you're saying that there's no reason to cover it right now, but you're also saying that it should be blowing up.
He's saying the Democrats aren't going to cover it right now because it won't benefit them to stir the shit until the midterms.
Correct.
Why would the Democrats do anything when the right is fucking splintering on its own?
Yeah, dude, they're using the art of war right now, bro. Don't interrupt your enemy when they're making mistakes. What are the Democrats doing? A whole lot of nothing, because they themselves are falling apart, and they're gonna let us fall apart too.
Bro, when you see the way that Donald Trump and everyone
Am I
just
wrong,
flipped on
Matt?
Elon Musk.
Inside of America, there are two wolves. One is fucking retarded. The other one is even more fucking retarded.
Yes, literally.
When you see the way that they just completely flipped and turned on Elon Musk for pushing back against this fucking bill, do you think that's going to encourage any of these fucking brown nosers to push back against Trump? No, they're going to be definitely afraid to.
Well, we talked about that right before you joined, because I watched the video that Mad Stork had you watch on Nightcap too. And my point that I brought up was that I think the Elon and Trump thing is manufactured. It always has been. And after seeing that video, I think it's even more so manufactured, because Elon is getting a ton of kickbacks from this new bill. There's no way he's upset. His next his next tax return is going to be way better than it could have been under Kamala.
Correct.
Unless Elon is actually like, I don't care if I get the kickbacks. You guys promised this and you're not doing this.
Maybe, but I mean, his SpaceX company is basically entirely tax exempt. So
yeah, so that would lead me to believe that maybe he's just frustrated with the system as a whole. If he doesn't
that, or
care,
it's Donald Trump's bribe, like, hey, quit talking about me and Epstein.
Well, he's not.
I know it didn't work. But anyway, Matt Stork, you got to go, right?
I do. I mean, I linked some other stories and everything too. I'm just looking at what I'm going to miss out on now, and I'm just kind of sad.
Oh no, sorry.
You no.
Bastard!
How dare you?
How dare you? Anyway, I want to react to this next clip from Pam Bondi, because she does eventually get to speak after Trump interrupts her.
Before I go, I want to admit that Tyler said that Tim would in fact cover the Texas stories with the shootings, and I just want to acknowledge that I lost the bet.
Oh, you did.
He talked
not
for
only
a
did I
solid 10
lose
minutes.
But it was a solid 10 minutes talking about it, and it was his first video of the day, so I lost it quite handily. So congratulations.
I thought the bet was for IRL.
Yeah, it was for IRL. He covered it for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
On IRL.
Okay, you did. All right.
Yeah, and Tyler said 3 minutes. I said 5, and then he ended up doubling what it is I said. And then his first
I had
video,
little
he
faith.
literally, oh yeah, and he literally for 30 minutes straight, he started by apologizing on the video this morning for anyone who missed it, and then he went on like ad nauseum about the two stories, and
He had to have seen like
say.
comments from you or something.
no,
Did you hear,
I don't think I.
Did you hear Chris's what's called? Did you hear Chris's question?
Colin?
Yeah, Colin.
Yeah, he did cover it in that a little bit, and he kind of sidestepped the question, I guess, a little bit. And I don't know if he felt bad about sidestepping the question. Who knows? Anyhow, point is, I'm happy you covered it. I lost the bet. Tyler, you were right. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Matt Stork. I look forward to having you on all week. No,
You son of a bitch. All right, I gotta go.
Got BSOD. What the fuck is that? Blue screen of death. Laptop crashed. Oof.
Ooh.
Blue screen of death. Oof.
Damn.
Yikes.
No.
Well, TJ's on the retire. He's on the
So TJ just
disabled list
retired?
for about he's on the disabled list for about 4 to 5 months now.
Yeah.
You'll see TJ again. He'll be in good shape by the time you see him next.
Yep.
No.
Shit.
No more talking on After Dark. Oh man.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna go. You guys have fun. See you later.
The
Later.
biggest torture for TJ possible. He can't speak. Elon's unlimited political party is not to be lauded. Listen, his frustration.
Whoa.
His frustration is not the same as his reaction. I mean, I understand Elon Musk's frustration totally, and
Jeez.
you know, having a third party, I understand all that, but like, it really doesn't really matter, honestly, because like, who cares?
I
Like,
had you doubled for a second. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, it just. I mean, it's like who really cares if there's another political party at this point? We put our eggs into this America First basket, and now they're just fucking giving the reporters these ridiculous answers and basically hiding behind. Oh, well, look at all the good things we're doing. Like what?
I mean, yeah, no, this clip pissed me off for a couple of reasons. The absolute
Fucking
just
arrogance.
disregard, the absolute disregard for the story. He knows that this was a big talking point. He knows that this was a big issue for people, and to just cast it aside like it's no big deal. It's no big deal. Epstein killed himself. No big deal. No, there's no client list. No big deal. No big deal. Moving on. We have more important things to talk about, guys. More important things. More important. It's ridiculous. We have TJ back. Let me just get him in here. He should be popping in. There we go. Hello, TJ.
Yo,
Welcome
sorry
back.
for the delay. That was really stupid. Luckily, it just immediately shut down and booted back up. So
Well, that's good at least. And then I think Joey went to go feed his cat or something.
throw it, Joey.
Well, while we're waiting for Joey to come back, because I want to play this clip from Pam Bondi, what are your thoughts on the file? Since you didn't get to speak on it yesterday, you can riff a little bit if you want.
Yeah. So first off, like it's an obvious and blatant lie. Like there is like some sort of evidence that they could have given us, but they're choosing not to. And especially with Trump's reaction there, it makes me feel as though he is compromised. So at this point, what I would want to see is, Trump's going to have, hate about it throughout his entire administration or whatever, but do the good things that you need to do to, fix the country. And then I'm hoping that Dan or Cash is just going to like bury their political career by like whistleblowing the documents at the end, and Trump and everyone else who's a part of it can be held accountable.
Shitty Gov asked in the chat. He said, "Do you guys think that they'll false flag us before the midterms?" Shitty Gov, I don't think we need a false flag at this point. I mean, look at the 10 people that just got arrested for staging an ambush on ICE. I don't think we need a false flag at this point. I think the political violence is getting to the point where something is just going to happen. It won't be a false flag.
Things are happening.
Things are happening. They're actively happening. We don't need a false flag. The government doesn't need a false flag.
And something that Tim was saying in possibly his first segment today or whatever, like the Civil War is ongoing and the left is getting violent with it. And the only reason that it isn't like some sort of full scale civil war is because the right has restraint, and we don't want this.
It's what Tim said last night.
Full scale war.
Yeah, it's what Tim said last night. The left is always 2 steps of escalation higher than the right, and every time the right escalates, they escalate as well. So
yeah,
Tyler won like 9/11. What? What are you talking about? Shitty guy?
He's talking about false flags.
I know he's talking about false flags.
Should we be preparing for another 9/11? Is what he's saying.
Oh, Tyler won like 9/11. Oh, I see what he said. Okay, I read it wrong. Commas. You need commas.
I feel like the only reason, like the only plausible false flag right now is some, Iranian terrorist attack done in an effort to get us into a full-scale ground war, regime change war in Iran. And with it seeming like this ceasefire and this truce and the negotiations or whatever holding strong, it doesn't seem as though it doesn't seem like the administration has an appetite for that, I guess.
I don't know. I've said it yesterday that if the FBI truly didn't have any of this evidence, if it wasn't destroyed by past FBIs or this current FBI, then I believe someone like Mossad has it or something, because it's already been proven that Epstein was linked.
If it was destroyed, why don't they just fucking say that? They're not even saying that.
That's what I mean. Like I was saying it yesterday. It would have been better if they just didn't say anything. Literally would have been better if they just didn't say anything.
Rather than just fucking kicking the can down the road the way that they're done, and now they just slam the book shut. Just fucking put the onus on the other administrations. That's what they've done in the past when it comes to the economy. He blamed Barack Obama.
That's why I don't understand. So, why did Trump want to be the administration that shut the book on Epstein?
Well, here's another question that I have about
the administration where Epstein died under. So
that's what I tweeted out earlier.
So my question is,
tired of winning yet?
What do the Epstein files look like? Like, because we just say the Epstein files as if there's, you know, documents like the JFK files that got released or something like that. But like, we don't want the Epstein files. We want the Epstein evidence, right?
I know.
I just want the names.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday, TJ, because if you read the memo, they gaslight everyone into saying there is no evidence, and the evidence that we have is child pornography, and we're not releasing that to you.
Well,
just tell us who's in it then. Fuck.
No, but so my point being, what I mean when I say evidence, I mean financial records, video camera footage. He had video cameras in basically every room of his house. Not all of that's going to be child porn or abuse or anything like that. There's over tens of thousands of hours of child abuse material that Pam Bondi, in this clip that I'm about to play, said, she corrects herself. She's like, oh, it's child abuse material that was downloaded.
Let's play the video, and then I think we can kind of continue.
But just to answer your question, what people mean when they say evidence, they mean there's financial records, there's other video evidence other than the child abuse. Like there's a lot of things that they should and would have that they must have destroyed.
All I'm saying is that I would like to see us be very clear in what we're demanding. The phrase Epstein files is just too broad. It's a vague, nebulous term. So to say we want to see the financial records, we want to see.
To be honest, TJ, I think you're just playing semantics. When someone says Epstein files, I know what someone means when they say that. I don't.
Well, I'm saying that
it's an overall term for the evidence of the Jeffrey Epstein crime.
Yeah, like if someone comes to me and they're like, "Have you seen the Diddy files?" I'm gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you're talking about Diddy's case and all the evidence brought towards him." I'm not gonna be like, "Oh yeah, the freak offs." That's what you're talking about. No,
it's just an overarching term for.
Check it out. Clearly defining it makes it so that someone else cannot just say, "Oh, well, I thought you were just talking about the flight log," or "Oh, I thought you were just talking about." You know,
sure, but it's commonly recognized as one thing, and then you have the Trump administration coming out and obfuscating that. That's the issue, is that the Trump administration is obfuscating it.
If it's clearly defined, it can't be obfuscated. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I think it's at the point now where we're beyond that.
That's a fair point too.
So anyway, let's see this clip. I want to say, because Pam Bondi does get to respond after Trump finishes speaking. So this is what Pam Bondi goes on to say following his statements.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands.
So pause. That's what she meant. Does anyone believe that's what she meant?
Dude, you can hear how shaky her voice sounds.
Well, yeah, she's got Trump next to her who basically just shot down the question and cut her off.
So, real quick, like, I'm not saying I believe her, but just to understand what she's saying, is she saying that she had a stack of 3 different manila envelopes that you open up and it's
That's
like
what she's making it sound like. She's making it sound like, hey, on my desk, I have a bunch of files that people find important, and I was going through them. Is what she's trying to say.
She knows exactly what she was fucking doing when she was going on Fox News, all for the attention to talk about this stuff. They know very well that the base wants to fucking know about this and wants this exposed, and now they're just hiding in their fucking shell, acting like it doesn't. It's not there.
Melted wants to know why she had child porn on her desk.
She was reviewing the tapes personally.
She was reviewing them personally, Melted. We can't have them, but she can for personal use. Yeah, it's just disgusting. Anyway, let's see how she justifies it. What were you gonna say, TJ?
It's weird that. Never mind. I lost my train of thought. Play video.
The blue screen of mind.
Yeah, she got confused with her Pokemon card binders. That's why they were there.
Yeah, that must have been what it was.
Anyway.
The video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him,
again, just like they gaslit us in that memo, dude. Just like that gaslit us in that fucking memo. How are you going to come to me and tell me that all that security footage, all the properties he owned, none of that video, there's no pictures, there's no video, it's all porn. It's all child porn.
Why Why is Maxwell in jail then?
Why? Yeah, why is Maxwell in jail?
If it's all just child porn that he downloaded, why is Maxwell in jail? So he wasn't trafficking anyone to anybody then.
Did he download it from the video servers to?
Bro, this is what you just said. She just said it was just.
I'll go back. We'll get the full clip.
No,
Let's go back.
it's a like, yeah, child porn with world leaders, and it was downloaded from the.
No. So here, let me play the whole clip. She says it's only him.
Say.
She goes on to say it's only Epstein. Watch. I'll play the clip.
JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
Her voice is very shaky. I heard it there.
That's what I
Also,
meant
to the
by
tens
that.
of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day.
She's
To
saying
him
he
being an
downloaded
agent,
child porn.
I have no knowledge about that.
I know. I'm trying to make the point that, like, on a technical sense, like, is
Am I back? Am I here? Am I seen? Am I back? Am I here? Oh god, I'm not muted. Am I seen? Unfucked. Unfucked. Hello. I made it back. My internet is back. Hello. Oh, you fine people. Oh no. Oh, I'm being heard through my phone now. Oh jeez. Okay. Let's go back to this. Gonna fix my screen. There we go. Now I have to go to VidNinja and get both of these nerds back. All right. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. My Wi-Fi went out for those of you that were not reading the chat. That was very fun. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I have Joey. Is it waiting for TJ? Wait. Oh wait, no. Joey, I put your link. I can hear you now, Joey. Hello. I think so. Joey, say something? Oh, wait. Joey, you can't hear me. That's why. You can't. I think you're back now, Joey.
Yeah, I'm back, and now there's a big old green screen. Okay.
Hang on. Ignore that.
Can't. It's so fucking bright.
Hang on. I'm fixing. my whole thing got screwed with. Hang on.
You would have thought you were playing Repo or something.
Who knows? There we go. Oh, I know what it is. There you go. Okay, I fixed that for Joey. Guys, we're back. Thank you to all of you that were patiently waiting in the chat. That was awesome. I'm surprised.
How interesting that the moment that we're talking about Epstein and CP and all this, I get a blue screen and your internet shuts down.
My internet shuts down.
What's gonna happen to Joey?
Massad's working overtime. Guys, super chat, send in your super chats, your Rumble rants. They're trying to take us down. Gotta support the smaller creators.
Massad gets to me consistently by fucking with my microphone.
I was gonna say they're after Joey's microphone constantly.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've done every fix in the book, and it's at 75 now, and I can deal at 75. But like when it drops to like 45,
yeah.
Well, okay.
Well, let's play the rest of this Pam Bondi clip. I wanted to. That's what I wanted to get to. Is everything good? We're all good. Can you guys see my screen? Did I share it?
Yeah.
Let me make sure. Wait. Let me unshare it, and then let me make sure the audio's going through. Okay, yeah. Button is clicked. There we go. All right, let's see this clip. Let me skip ahead.
Sure, it's a video. They turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released. Never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no.
So she goes on to reference him being a Mossad agent, and I mean, she's like, I have no information on that. I can look into it further, is what her comment. We'll play the rest of it. But we were talking about the video evidence before the internet went out. Joey, you sounded like you were about to make a point.
First of all, we know Jeffrey Epstein's a disgusting person, but like her adding in these like superfluous like adjectives. Like nobody's asking you to describe Jeffrey Epstein as a person. It reeks of overcompensation. It just reeks of like they're trying to distract you from the fact that they don't have nothing or they're hiding something, and they're just going to use this over the top verbiage to like, oh well, you want us to do this, and this about this horrible well, forget about it. It doesn't exist. He's just a sick man. That's all he is. He's a sick man. It's like we know he's a fucking sick man.
Yeah, and he knew a lot of people who were also sick people. So like,
right,
we lock up those sick people.
And they keep doing this misnomer about evidence. Like, who was there? Who was there?
Yeah, who's the people in these
clips?
Tell us
who was there.
Well, and now she said that there was. If you look at videos of her speaking on this to the what's called like we just talked about this recently, Joey, with James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe had her on hidden camera talking about how there's thousands of hours of videos of Epstein and other people with these children. And then she had to come out herself and say that she has thousands of hours of evidence that she's having people go through. It's gone. It's all gone. It was just all downloaded stuff. It was nothing that he made. It was nothing that he was keeping to blackmail people with. None of that. It was all just people that he, downloaded. It was just all stuff he downloaded.
The only conclusions I can draw from this is that when she said she had so no matter which way you slice it, she was wrong. She said things that weren't true for clout. She said she had evidence, and now she's telling us that no, it actually wasn't evidence. He's just a sick man that downloaded child porn. Really? Is that what we're to believe? Is that what we're to believe? Like the redhead libertarian tweeted out today, all the victims that came out against the Epstein stuff about being abused that have all just conspicuously been silenced or literally silenced into not living anymore.
I mean,
and like we're just supposed to believe this is all just because of a sick man who downloaded child porn, bro. We can go on we could check the sex offender registry and find like 17 people within a fucking 10-block radius. Me and Tyler are most likely that fucking have done that shit. That's not enough for us, the people to get fucking murdered over. Fuck out of here.
Melted was bringing up. I need to go watch the full clip. I was watching it before we went live, but he said that Alex Jones appeared to almost cry over the news that Trump was just blocking this entirely. I was watching a clip of him reacting to these statements too, and Alex is pissed. Alex doesn't think he's on the list. Alex is like, I've done my own investigation. I don't believe he ever did anything with Epstein. I don't understand why you would do this.
Because he's compromised in some way. It doesn't mean he's compromised because he's on the Epstein files. It means he's compromised. Something has compromised him.
Yep.
And the easiest solution based off of the over-the-top way he fucking fellatios Netanyahu would be, Mossad has these files, Israel has these files, and they're holding it over him in the sense that, I don't know, it could be, we'll give you these files if you do everything for us.
I mean, I believe it was some deplorable in the chat earlier. He said that it's not. He was responding to Eternal Spartan, or not Eternal Spartan, Midwest Mysteries, and they were talking about how the files were destroyed long ago. Some deplorable said no, they're secured and tucked away for future use.
Mm-hmm. Underneath some historical religious building somewhere in Israel.
So the conspiracy theory that I threw out in your chat yesterday, Tyler, was that wasn't Trump posting all of these different trade deals that he had just secured? And my little conspiracy theory was that he told all of these different leaders, hey, if you make this beneficial trade deal with us, we'll bury the files. And so once he got everyone agreeing to the deal, as long as they buried the files, they buried the files and the trade deals went through.
Yeah, it's just it wasn't worth it.
Imagine doing all that shit for trade deals. Like, oh, well, do we want to take down this corrupt criminal syndicate? No, let's just, your Tylenol is going to cost less now. Oh, gee, thanks, Trump. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad that you fucking made my Tylenol cost less instead of destroying the cabal of elite pedophiles that rule over us. Thank you, man. I'm so happy that I pay $3.89 for milk instead of $4.30. Thank you, man. It's so sweet of you, dude.
Do you think that they have all of the evidence that they could actually convict numerous people, or do you think that they just don't have the evidence because it's been successfully hidden away or destroyed?
I don't want to keep reiterating this point. I don't care if they convict anyone. I want them to tell us who is in the fucking tapes, who's on the list. That's all they have to do. They don't have to put anybody in jail.
I mean, they would have
let us know who's there.
They would have, if they had the tapes, then they would be able to prosecute someone.
Because the whole idea, as Nora brought up last night on Nightcap, where she made her triumphant return, is that they made some agreement that for some reason we need to just go along with because it's an agreement. It's a handshake agreement, and we have to be better for some reason, even though these are the sick, most deplorable motherfuckers ever. So they can't be prosecuted. So because of that, just name who they are. Name who can't be prosecuted. That's it.
It's infuriating.
I don't care if it makes the fucking world system collapse. Then, dude, are we gonna just turn a blind eye? Like, as people who consider themselves to be Christians or religious in any fucking way, are we gonna just turn a blind eye and say this is it? That we're ruled by pedophiles. Let's just move on because
there's a lot of Trump supporters that are literally saying that right now, Joey.
That's a joke. I know. Like fucking some of these bot accounts, probably like some deplorable Barbie or whatever the fuck their names are, talking about. Well, but I think you guys stick on this for too long. It's like drain the swamp. Drain the swamp means end the corrupt criminal syndicate. It means to get rid of the fucking nucleus of corruption, and fucking fixing trade deals and having a pretty economy for 4 years is a variable. It is not a constant. It can be changed immediately. So it's irrelevant to me.
But
I don't care really if the economy is good, because it's just going to be bad in 4 years with the Democrat gets elected. It doesn't matter to me. There needs to be change to get our system back to what it used to be in like the 1820s.
Yeah, I think that prosecuting the people in the Epstein files and to prosecute the like corrupt government officials that actually broke laws would be the way to drain the swamp and restore the country. And it's infuriating that we aren't seeing movement on either of those fronts. And I was saying that I was given Cash and Dan until 4th of July to actually start like making some arrests or putting forth some criminal charges.
Oh, well, they gave you some news, all right.
and as a response to my goodwill, they threw a dagger in my back and released that DOJ press release.
Are you tired of winning, TJ?
Dude, you know, like that said, like there are some good things happening, and
yes, he's giving us some nice breadcrumbs. I'm so grateful for our breadcrumbs.
I mean,
I don't know. Let's see the rest of this clip because we are getting towards the end of the show.
Like I want to reward good behavior and call out bad behavior, and so
what are they, fucking dogs? Guess so.
Have you ever heard of human behavior?
No. I mean, you're treating them like dogs, like positive reinforcement. Like these are literally fucking psychopaths. They don't fucking respond to that shit.
Narcissists do.
Saying credit where credit's due and call them out when they do fucked up shit.
Let's see the rest of this clip because she talks about Epstein being a Mossad agent. Let's see it.
Him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively. The video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide.
So the video that we released is inconclusive, primarily because it's fake and doesn't even show the actual door of his cell. I have no idea why they released this video. My assumption was, and I've been telling everybody, is just for them to, like they just did, point to something, be like, look, we released a video. Literally, that was the whole point of it. I think it's either fake or it's just a completely different area of the prison, or even if it is the prison. I don't know. It's not. It's irrelevant. The video entirely is irrelevant. The people focusing on that minute being gone is irrelevant. Sure, a minute's missing. A lot could happen in a minute. I don't think it matters. It's not even the same door.
I think that they need to show the footage of him being pulled out.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
on a gurney with a blanket over the top or whatever, from that same camera, in order for it to be, you know.
Yeah, that's the other weird thing too. You literally don't even see Epstein in the video. They released a video camera of people walking around a prison. That's what they released.
They need to corroborate it with, you know, the actions of him being.
But so she couples that. She's like, this video basically it doesn't confirm anything, but the evidence prior to that video does confirm everything. It doesn't. No, it didn't. It never did.
And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
That's it.
That's it. That's their response. We'll never hear anything about it ever again.
I will say that I can buy the argument about the missing minute. Just personally, like that does, you know, make sense to me. Like I recognize that it does look super weird and shady, and people are right to call it out. But at least with that excuse for that aspect, I'm kind of satisfied.
I understand what she's saying. It's just, again, they're coupling it. The whole reason they released the video, again, It's just a distraction. It doesn't prove anything. It doesn't disprove anything. It's literally just for them to point to and be like, look, we released something.
Right.
It just sounds like any other administration. This is what I would expect from George Bush administration. This is what I would expect from Barack Obama.
Yep.
I didn't expect this from Biden because Biden was barely alive, but this is like what I expect from these administrations, and this is exactly what's happening. But for some reason, I'm supposed to think differently because it's Donald Trump.
So
And I don't know
our
what he's
guards
actually
that-
done for me to. I don't know what he's actually done for me to think otherwise.
Melted said, so the guards know that there's a full minute where the cameras just don't work. Yeah, that's basically what she said.
And they
Possibly.
don't fix it. Why
I
don't they
mean,
fix it?
in like, I doubt it's the guards specifically that like go and change the tapes or that are, you know, in charge of like the IT aspects of the
Sure, but
prison.
when I think
There-
high
but there's
security, I don't
someone-
think technology from before 2000.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there's probably like the guards sitting outside that fell asleep probably didn't know that there was a missing minute on the camera.
Sleep, right?
Like surveillance department is different than security department.
Some deplorable is correct. Like they didn't upgrade to digital, bro. Everything's been upgraded to fucking digital, but a Supermax prison didn't get upgraded.
They don't have a
fuck
camera
outta here, bro.
of inside the cell.
Get the fuck out of here, okay?
Nobody, and I mean nobody, is using physical tapes anymore. Yeah, it's unless some deplorable, you're using physical tapes because you know it's easier to manipulate them. Harder to prove that they've been manipulated. Hell, I can't think of Biden like I used to with the cancer diagnosis and the way the treatment messes with one's mind. The treatment's jacked up my dad for a spell. Yeah,
Whoa.
I mean, still, I feel bad for the guy. Cancer's not fun for anybody, but he shouldn't have been president.
Yeah.
It's valid.
So, but I want to show this. So I was looking for Elon Musk to comment on the Epstein stuff. This is the only thing that I could find that could be in relation to a comment. He retweeted this from Sarah Fields. If the entire government is protecting pedophiles, it has officially become the government against the people. I hope you all understand that. And this is the only thing this is the only thing Elon has said or retweeted about Epstein since the newest drop. So
Well, did you see his reply?
He also said Steve Bannon was in on the list.
Sir.
That's what he said.
was not.
He said Steve Bannon was on the list.
Was. Ooh, interesting. Well, a lot of people have pointed out that Steve Bannon was oddly very close with Epstein.
Yeah, I
coaching
don't know.
him for
I
a
don't know either
60-minute
because-
interview and other things.
Yeah, Steve Bannon and Musk have had Steve Bannon's always had it out for Musk, obviously, because he thinks he's a Chinese agent, but
Well, Elon thinks he's an
obviously-
elite pedophile, so.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is Musk just like doing a fucking teenage back and forth because Bannon has an irrational hate for him, or if it's just true. But if Elon's seen names on this fucking list, then he should just start fucking saying them.
Yeah, if he knows
Right.
who's on the list, he absolutely should start naming names. But that's the thing. What I told with Stork, because Trump is just spending his credibility like it's never gonna run out. And I think Elon is trying to be a little bit smarter about it. If he just starts naming names, people can come out and discredit him, and then it's like, well, we don't believe him, you know?
All right, I'm gonna go duck out here.
All right, later.
See you, Joey.
So you
All
guys
right,
in a few
I still have
minutes,
a
maybe.
I still have a ton of stories to get to, but I guess I'll just save them for tomorrow because we had the technical difficulties. I'll send everybody over to Joey. I have things I need to get to today. Go do. But TJ, you have any final statements on everything? Then I'll save all this other stuff for tomorrow. Are you gonna be here tomorrow?
I might be heading upriver tomorrow. I'll let you know.
Yeah, just let me know.
Yeah, might be doing IRL things.
This purpose and
But yeah, I'll just say, God, I don't even know what I want to say. I want to say something along the lines of, appreciate when these people are doing good things and like appreciate if they're bettering our lives, appreciate them for doing that. If they're lying and doing corrupt government bullshit, then call them out for that. But I still I don't know. I'm hopeful that our lives are going to be improving at the end of these 4 years, regardless of the fucking deep state politics bullshit. I want to see arrests is all I want. So I don't know.
Arrest of who, TJ? Who's getting arrested?
all the corrupt politicians that took illegal actions.
I would hope so, but it's the joke that's as old as time. We investigated ourselves and we found nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you get past that.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy couple of weeks seeing how the backlash from all of this plays out, because the whole Epstein drop was absolutely insane. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting few weeks. Stay safe, stay healthy, protect yourself, protect your family.
Absolutely. And then where can we find you, TJ?
I'm on X yelling at leftists all the time.
Right here, I'm trying to pull up your X account.
TERAK.
Wait. Oh no, you could see me.
Yeah.
Damn it. You didn't see anything, TJ. Shh. Wait.
Hold up.
I don't even have the screen pulled up. Hang on, I gotta pull it up.
Slacking, bro.
No, it's because I closed it down and then I was like, wait, I should pull up his Twitter. All right, go follow TJ over here, even though he doesn't have a banner, background banner. I'm gonna have to make one for him.
I appreciate that. Yeah, 308 followers can't be wrong, even though most of them are probably bots. But follow me, join me there, and we will.
He's got more followers than me.
Let's go. But yeah, follow me there, and we will yell at leftists together, and hopefully change the world for the better.
Well, glad to have you on, TJ. Sorry for the, I did cut you off a few times today, and also sorry for the technical difficulties. It's very hot. I would assume it's the fact that it's just incredibly hot in California right now. It's probably straining some of the cables. Fine, it is what it is. Anyway,
all right. Talk to you soon.
Later, TJ. Guys, go follow Tarek Reigns on X. Go follow him over on X. I'm gonna switch over to my solo window over here. Bam. Solo window. We're back in the office, guys. We're back at the desk. I hope you guys had a great show today. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I'm glad that I could get the show back online for you guys and we can finish things up and wrap things up. I did not want to end on a cutoff like that, so I'm really glad we could continue. Thank you guys so much for sticking through that as well. It really means a lot to see that you guys waited for me to come back. Yeah, overall, great show today. I look forward to talking about the news with everybody throughout the week and seeing what else there is to discuss. The news may suck, but I still find enjoyment talking about it, and I find enjoyment hanging out with you guys talking about it as well. Thank you to my panel today. TJ, as always, hanging out with the panel. Joey, go watch him. I'm sending you guys over there right now. And Mad Stork, when he pops in from time to time. I know he's a busy guy, but he's also incredibly smart, incredibly insightful. So it's always fun to have him on the show to argue with, because I don't always agree with him, but he can make very good arguments. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great one. I'm gonna go ahead and play my little outro music that I made for the news this week. Birds of the same, two different colored wings, red and blue, but they're both on the same bird. They both fly in the same direction, guys. Anyway, peace out. Later. Let's get that song going. Where is it? Where is it at? There we go. All right, transition. Bye. Later, Missy. Later, Jaded Stoic. You got Hello Darkness. Everyone's over in Joey's chat. Later, guys. Bye, everybody. Oh, wait, I switched my camera, but you can still hear me. Thank you for following Deplorable. I saw you followed. Thank you so much. Spartan sent you? Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much, Spartan. All right, I'm going to get this song going. Thank you guys so much. Here's the song.
Promises made, truth betrayed. Behind closed doors, deals are played. Red on blue, same game they bring. Two wings flapping for the same. Damn.